Welcome back. Thank you again for joining us at the Ground Round in Tomah as we interview the candidates for mayor for 2012. Joining us now is Shannon Hough. She's the challenger for the mayor's seat in the upcoming election. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Chris. It's nice to be here.
Well, thanks for coming out. We're going to go right into the questions. First off, tell us about your political and leadership experience.
Okay. Well, I do have a bachelor's degree in political science.
Okay.
I have always worked in the government. I've served in the Navy, so I have leadership experience through the military. I've been a state and budget legislative analyst in Hawaii, and most recently I was an elected official in California.
Okay.
My title was president. I did everything a mayor would do. We just had different titles due to being a district and not a full city.
Okay.
I worked with our law enforcement, our sewer and water district. I was able to serve on several committees, and I was appointed to a state committee working with special legislative issues that impacted districts in our county.
Sure.
So between education and elected official experience and work experience, I've got about 20 years of leadership and political background.
Excellent, excellent. What during that time, what do you think was your biggest accomplishment?
While serving as president in California, we were faced with multiple attempts of annexation and incorporation, and it would have increased our utility tax rate to 11%.
Okay.
And with the downturn in economy, it just wasn't, I believe, an efficient way to run a government, and it would have impacted a lot of our residents. So I successfully combated that and kept from being annexed and kept our community intact. And most recently, it was finalized. They're not going to be annexed, and so that was a huge accomplishment for me, and a lot of work and hours put into that.
Sure. Okay. Now, where would you like to see Tomah in 2022? So 10 years from now, what do you see as the vision for the next 10 years?
You know, I think Tomah is a great community. We've got a lot to offer different businesses and our residents. You know, we have a problem with our youth leaving because we don't offer as much as bigger cities do. So I think if we bring in bigger industries, but keep our mom and pops and, you know, maybe more technologically savvy jobs, or, you know, work with Toro and Old Dominion to keep our youth here, we won't be stagnant. We'll be able to keep our community growing, and they'll want to come back, and also offer more community events. You know, we have some great parks. We've got a lake that we could benefit from a lot more than what we do right now. So I think if we just continue to grow and not be stagnant, we can keep our community intact and growing.
Sure. Now, what do you think is the most pressing issue for Tomah?
Stagnation. You know, we haven't grown as much as we could. I think we've kind of lost some great opportunities, and I think if we reach out to various organizations and businesses, you know, we can stop that stagnation, and it'll improve our quality of life here in Tomah, and we'll be able to progress while keeping our small town quality, and I think that's important.
Sure. Now, what distinguishes you in this race?
I'm young and I'm energetic. The current mayor is a remarkable man, but he looks more at the day-to-day administrative duties. And, you know, as mayor, I think you have to go beyond that. You have to be willing to put yourself out there and be a leader in more than just administrative issues. You know,
Okay.
we have a city administrator. He's a full-time administrator. That is his job. The mayor is more of a leader, kind of bring him along, you know, this is what I think. But the mayor also has to get out there and be the face of the community, and that's what I want to do.
Sure. Basically being the cheerleader for Tomah to
Exactly.
go out there and promote Tomah.
Exactly.
Okay. What issue is not getting enough attention in your mind?
I think we have a serious issue here in Tomah that isn't quite getting the attention necessary, and that's the homeless issue with some of our children. I think this report was about 100 kids.
Okay.
And, you know, they're not necessarily homeless on the street homeless, but they're not in their primary residence. And we have a lot of social issues like that we really need to consider and work with our local church organizations, our local nonprofit organizations, as well as the city being involved, and take care of that before it does become homeless on the street. And I think that's a big issue that nobody is really talking about.
Okay, okay. Now, shifting gears a little bit, do you think it's possible for Tomah to grow and yet still maintain that small town feel?
Absolutely. We have a great center of our town. You know, downtown is an amazing place to be. I love walking up and down the streets. We have our planters, we have our small businesses. But, you know, if we revitalize that and, you know, build on what we have, use our north side of town and just combine them and bond them together, we can grow and but still stay our tight-knit community, and I think that's vital.
Okay. What are your top 3 priorities?
You know, the whole campaign I've been talking about economic development and bringing businesses in, and that is a top priority for me. Revitalizing downtown, maintaining our historical aspects, and then just outreaching, keeping us energetic and involved in the state and bringing more businesses in. I think it would just keep us moving forward and growing, and that's what we need.
Okay. Now, how do you plan on promoting Tomah? You mentioned, and I mentioned actually, the cheerleader aspect, but, you know, literally you are out there, the mayor's position's out there promoting the community. How do you plan on promoting Tomah?
I am going to be all over the place. You know, I really enjoy getting to know people and talking to people, and I think part of being a mayor is you have to reach out to other communities in the county, in the state. You have to reach out to businesses. You have to be at events. You know, since I started campaigning, and even before, you know, I've always done a lot of community events. I think you need to bring events in. I think you need to be at those events. I think you need to go to the baseball games and the football games and just really get involved in your community, and that's what I do. You know, I'm a big cheerleader for the city I live in. You know, I live here. This is my home, and I just think it's important to be the face of the community as much as possible. Go to other events in other communities. Hey, you know, come to our city, visit our city. So that's what I plan on doing.
Now, in this position, you're going to obviously say a lot of good things about Tomah because the community does have a lot of wonderful things. But what do you think that we as a community don't do very well, or don't do as well as we could have? And so basically, what could we improve on, and how would you as the mayor help the community achieve that?
Again, I think networking would help us. I think we don't network enough with various entities around us, be it businesses, other communities, the county. You know, we need to reach out in order to bring more people in so we can grow. And you know, like I said, I'm going to be out there. I'm going to be talking to people. If a business calls and says, "Hey, what do you have in Tomah that would want us to come here?" and you know, just talk to them and be our cheerleader, network with as much as possible. You know, Facebook, Twitter, you know, all these, and with our community events, you know, a lot of times we don't have people attend them very well. So just networking as much as possible with all the different communities. Okay.
Now, since this show is promoted by the Chamber, I would be remiss not to ask this one question it is viewed as extremely important by the Chamber membership. Where do you stand on hiring an economic development director or a city planner?
You know, I think city planners are vital to every community. Sometimes budgets don't always allow for them, but I definitely would look at the budget and see what we can tweak and do, because I think city planners pay for themselves if they are doing their job. Okay. Anytime you can grow a community like we could with Tomah, you want to bring the right businesses in and put them in the right place and have your residential areas be as effective as possible. And I think a good city planner would pay for himself in that in order to grow Tomah. So absolutely, without raising taxes, you know, work on the budget. Some have got a lot of budget experience.
Sure.
I think we could absolutely bring a city planner in and work on what my top 3 priorities are for Tomah.
Excellent. Now, we're almost out of time. Did you have anything else that you wanted to say before we wrap up the segment?
Yeah, I appreciate the opportunity to come and talk to you about the issues that I'm passionate about. I think Tomah is an amazing city. I love Tomah. I plan on being here for a really long time, and I think we can take something that's great and make it excellent.
Good.
So,
excellent.
And make sure everybody gets out and vote on April 3rd.
Perfect, perfect. Well, Shannon, thank you very much for coming out and meeting with us today. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after these messages.